Namaste, welcome, Assalamu alaikum, Sat Sri Akal. Welcome to your practice. Let's take a few moments to arrive and settle. I invite you to come to Sukhasana. You may wish to support yourself with a cushion or a folded blanket. And let's bring our thumb and middle finger together to represent the element of Akash, space, ether. Palms face up on your knees. And begin to observe the flow of breath, of pran, life force vitality, as it draws in, of apan, the letting go, the releasing, the discharging energy, as it draws out. Take a few moments to observe the rise and fall of your breath, the ebb and flow. We are in the blue moon, a full moon in Aquarius, the second full moon in this cycle. And this moon harks an awakening, a growth in which emotions rise up to the surface, in which turmoil reveals itself, in which things fall apart and disintegrate. This is a time of illumination, revealing what must be changed. This is a moon that is calling upon our awareness, calling us to pay attention so that we listen. This moon is traditionally associated with freedom and liberation. And yet we know that not all lands or peoples are able to honor this fundamental right to be free, to be liberated. Our practice today is in honor of our family, our sisters, our mothers, our daughters in Afghanistan. We'll chant Om 3 times to begin our practice. And I invite you to offer each Om to those in need of solidarity, of support, of the freedom to make choices. Inhaling, hands to your heart in Namaskar. Om. Allow the vibrations to wash over you, to reverberate far and wide, across the oceans, across the lands. Our mantra for today is the Mahashwarya mantra for the great Shakti energy, the Shakti energy which is a powerful, purposeful, creative energy. This is the energy that sparks freedom, liberation, calls to action. We'll do call and response, and then twice together. Om Bhagavati Vidmahe. Om Bhagavati Vidmahi. Maheshwari Dhimahi. Maheshwari Dhimahi. Tanno Devi Prachodayat. Tanno Devi Prachodayat. Together twice. Om Bhagavati Vidmahi. Maheshwari Dhimahi. Tanno Devi Prachodayat. Om Bhagavati Vidmahe Maheshwari Dhimahi Tanno Devi Prachodayat. Om Bhagavati Vidmahi Maheshwari Dhimahi Tanno Devi Prachodayat. Om Om Om. Invoking the great energy of change, of an expansion, of an embrace, the heart of humanity within all of us. Inhale, let's draw your hands apart. Two mudras we're going to adopt today is the Akash mudra, so the thumb to the middle finger. This is the space to find liberation, to find freedom, to be expansive in the expression of the self, to be able to manifest all parts of the self without restraint, without boundaries, without judgment, without the demands placed upon our identities by patriarchal oppressive forces. And then the other mantra, the other mudra that we're going to take, the other gesture of seal, is the Nirvana mudra, this sort of absolute freedom, crossing at the wrist, flipping the palms so that they come together. And then draw the fingers down, up towards the chin. And then relax the shoulders. And then we can flip this several times, so that when you look down, it looks like a teardrop. This is the mantra. And then you'll notice your shoulders curl in. So always be mindful to roll the shoulders down and away in Nirvana mantra. Create this opening, but also this commitment. And you can see this commitment isn't easy. This commitment is one of challenge. Let's start by drawing our hands up towards the heavens, bringing the palms together. And I'm going to share with you the stories of two Afghan women today, Malalai and Rabia Balkhi. Draw the hands towards the heart. Flip the palms to come into your Nirvana mudra, and then circle, reach up. As you come back down, bring the mudra to your heart. So as you reach up, wrists are crossed, palms reach up, and then as you come down, flip the fingers in towards the heart. Om Bhagavati Vidmahi. You can see that you can take the opportunity to work the wrists a little bit, so you can take them to the left, to the right, and then into the heart. Maheshwari Dhimahi Tanno Devi Prachodayat. And one last time. So this coalescing, this bringing together of the right of consciousness, the right of conscious awareness, the right of conscious expression, together with this energy that creates and drives forward change and action. And those two come together. Conscious awareness comes together with the call to action. And that is how we create change. That is how we support in solidarity all that needs to be changed. Let's draw the arms up, fingers in Akash. Exhale right onto the earth, up and with the left arm. Through center, over to the right. And let's flow like this 3 times in both directions. And as we flow, I invite you to think about the two women who I have dedicated this practice to. And these are women in Afghanistan who are revered or who are honored as great freedom thinkers, as women who have heroically and courageously risen up against patriarchal ideas and had an impact. Malalai and Rabia Balkhi. So now this time turn over to the left. Gaze over the left shoulder. Inhale, center over to the right. Flow like this 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 times. There is no science. This is the expression of the self. We are drawing together, drawing upon the Shiva and Shakti energy. The Shiva energy is the energy of consciousness, pure awareness. The Shakti energy is of fire, of change, of creativity, of challenge. And so our practice is practice of action. And then back to center. This time, let's bring the palms together, cross them at the wrists, flip them round, and then bring Nirvana Mudra to the heart. Reaching up, take your arms out, and let's glide from side to side. Bringing some movement here into this lateral glide. And then hands on your knees, create Sufi circles. So these Sufi circles are small circumductions of the spine going in one direction first. Perhaps you want to have these small, perhaps you wish to expand them. Your choice, my friends. And I like to go small and then open out and then come small again, so that there's this spanda in the movement, this expansion and openness, and then this contraction and drawing in. And let's reverse direction. So Malaya is a woman who was serving during the Second Afghan and Anglo War. This is the war between Afghanistan and British during the colonial age. And the British were obviously seeking to occupy the lands and have control. The Afghan people rose up in rebellion, in resistance, in order to protect their lands. And Malaya was tending to the wounded on the battlefield, serving water, providing medical aid. And the Afghan soldiers, the Afghan people were being defeated by the military might of the British. And morale was low. The sense of victory was becoming ever distant to the Afghan people. Malaya strode onto the battlefield with her veil as the flag, made a call to the people, and I want to get this right, so I'm going to read what exactly she said. And she wrote, "Young love, if you do not fall in the battle of Maiwand, by God, someone is saving you as a symbol of shame. Young love, if you do not fall in the battle of Maiwand, by God, someone is saving you as a symbol of shame." And it is folklore that by this action, by these words, she motivated, inspired the Afghan people to rise up. And this was on the 27th of July in 1880. She was honored. She fell on the battlefield as a hero. But she was honored by Ayub Khan, who was the leader of the forces and had special honors. So today, many young women of Afghanistan are named after her in honor of her heroic, morale-boosting, resistant, vital, independent spirit. Schools and hospitals are named after her. And we know very many Malaya Maiwand, named after her is Malaya Maiwand, who was a great journalist who sadly was also killed by the Taliban, who was named after her. So she is a symbol of freedom. Now, my friends, let's come on to all fours. And let's remember this great hero of the Afghan Anglo War in 1880. Draw the navel in, lift the tailbone, claw through the earth with your finger pads, shine the heart, lift the gaze. Cat cow here. So waving through the spine. And as you wave through the spine here, let's remember our invocation for the Shakti energy of heroic, courageous women. Om Bhagavati Vidmahi Maheshwari Dhimahi Tanno Devi Prachodayat. Tanno Devi Prachodayat. Take a moment here. And then, my friends, coming to stillness, let's walk the right hand slightly forward. Extend the left leg long and rock backwards and forwards here. Claw the earth with your fingers as if they are tiger paws. And then slide that right hand under the shoulder, turn onto the left sole and rise that left arm up to the sky to come into Ardha Vastisana, half plank pose. Here, my friends, the option can be also to extend the right leg long, cross at the ankle. Turning your gaze down towards the earth, let's roll onto our heart. Keep the ankles crossed if you have your legs crossed, extended here. And then let's lower down to the earth in Chaturanga, all the way to the earth, keeping the ankles crossed. Draw the hands behind you, thumb and middle finger connect in Akash Mudra. Arms, lift the legs, Shalabhasana variation. Exhale, release the hands, uncross the legs. Let's rise up back into table Bhamarasana. Take the left hand slightly forward. Extend the right leg long, tuck the toes, and then let's rock here backwards and forwards. This is the activation, the preparation for this awakening. As we remember Malaya of Maiwand, who strode courageously onto the battlefield to rouse the Afghan warriors. And then let's come into stillness. Bring that left hand underneath the left shoulder. Turn your heart. Drop the right foot completely to the earth so the soul is connected. And then draw the right arm up towards the sky with the Akash Mudra. Now you may stay here, or you may extend that left leg long and cross at the ankle. And again, we are going to come down to the earth. So this time I'll leave that left leg on the earth so you can see how we're going to do this time round. So bring the right hand to the earth and then bend the right knee and cross at the ankle. So this gives you the Ardha Palakasana variation rather than the long variation. And then when you're ready, let's lower down to the earth so that we all meet in locust here. And when you're ready, draw your arms back, hands in your mudra. Inhale, lift the legs, lift the heart. Ready to take flight here. Exhale, low to the earth, uncross the legs. Let's rise up through table into Parvatasana, mountain pose. Walk the feet, sway the hips. And Malaya, when she strode onto the battlefield, this 2-sentence cry, this is a form of poetry known as Landai. It's often said it is chanted to the beat of a drum. And these 2-sentence poems, which are very have a syllable, 22 syllables, so there's a beat to them, are often poems of grief, separation, loss, love, passion, commitment. And these are traditionally chanted by women. It is part of the folklore traditions. Here in your mountain, let's reach the right leg long, and then bring the right knee in towards the heart, and then cross the right foot in front of the left foot, so that you are crossing your right leg in front of the left leg. And then here, let's rock backwards and forwards a few times. And this practice is inspired by my teacher. And this practice is the meeting of the creative and conscious energies, Shiva and Shakti, coming together. This commingling, this embrace. It is not enough for us to take action without purpose, without knowledge, without wisdom. And this is not enough for us to have knowledge and wisdom and then take no action. And then, my friends, let's bring that right knee in towards the heart, extend it long, and step that right foot forward. Drop that left knee to the earth very gently. Pad the knee if you wish. Inhale, rise up into Janmayasana. Here, let's bring the Nirvana Mudra to the heart. And you can reach it up towards the sky. Fold it in towards the heart. Reach up. Fold in. Three times. Bring your hands to the inside of your right foot. We're going to come into dragon, low flying dragon. Uttan Pristhasana. Uttan Pristhasana. So here, my friends, you can keep your hands on the earth. You can use blocks or a bolster to lift the earth towards you. You also have the option of coming down to the earth and bringing your hands together in Namaskar. If you're choosing to do that, fan the knee out, roll onto the little toe side of your right foot. Three breaths here in Uttan Pristhasana. Low lizard lunge or low flying dragon, as it's alternatively known. Remember, you can be on your hands or on blocks here. Now, my friends, I invite you, you can stay on the forearm, the left forearm or the left hand. Bring the right hand to the inside of the right leg. And gently open out that leg a little bit more and spiral your heart towards that right leg. Hands here can reach up to the sky or reach behind you in Akash Mudra. So find what feels sustainable and comfortable in your body here. So we're coming into this Anjani Asana variation of kind of the dragon forming into the monkey lunge, the twisted monkey lunge, Parivritta Anjani Asana. Bring that right hand back to the earth. or the forearm back to the earth. Take a moment here. Untuck the left toe, rise up, heel toe that right foot back to the center, and then rise up, high lunge here. And then again, let's bring the Nirvana Mudra to the heart and reach up, flowing here in this wheel of liberation, this wheel of freedom. And then flow the hands down. We're going to step back into mountain. Then walk the feet, pedal them out. So we're celebrating feminist icons of Afghanistan. Women who speak truth to power, whether it's a foreign power or whether it is the power of patriarchy within your own nation. Women who challenge the patriarchal order through the lyricism of poetry. The courage framed by these words of beauty, of inspiration. Let's bring the left knee in towards the heart. So extend that leg long, then bring the knee in towards the heart and cross the left foot in front of the right foot. So now we have the left leg in front of the right leg. And again here, let's sort of wave from Parvatasana, mountain, to Phalakasana. And then when you're ready, my friends, release that left knee, reach back long, and then lunge forward by taking a big step. Bring the right knee to the earth, pad that knee if you wish, my friends. Inhale, hands in Nirvana Mudra to the heart. And remember to roll the shoulders back. Prayer wheel, this wheel of liberation up to the sky and back to the heart. Freedom of the heart, freedom of the mind, freedom of expression, freedom of being. And you may also cross the wrists in the other way around at any point, swapping over so that you feel that you're experiencing stretch. You will notice that when you reach up, that you feel an extension along the lateral body and opening in the armpit. And you may feel it more in one arm than the other. And that's because of the way that the hands are crossed. When you're ready, my friends, we're going to bring the hands down to the earth to come. Low lizard or dragon, low flying dragon. So here, my friends, choose what you wish to do with your hands or forearms. Hands on the earth, forearms on the earth. Hands on a bolster or bricks or low footstool, forearms alternately closer to the earth. If you're bringing your forearms to the earth or to your bolster, bring your palms together in Namaskar. Deep opening here. And now, my friends, let me tell you about Rabia Balkhi. Rabia Balkhi was a medieval poet, 10th century Afghanistan. She was the daughter of powerful men, of the emir of the court in Balkh. And it is said that she fell in love with her brother's Turkish slave, Baktash. She had known him from childhood, and they had formed a close friendship, which then turned into love. Deep, heartfelt, soul connection love. When you're ready, my friends, we're going to roll out onto that little toe side, if not already, and take the left hand to the inside of the left thigh and open up here. You can be on your right forearm or on your hand. And then reach up with the left hand to the sky, bringing the Akash Mudra, the mudra for freedom, for space. And then reaching behind you. So this little left arm can be reaching up or behind you. In fact, you can even flow with this arm, my friends. You choose what you wish to do with it. You create the movement that aligns in harmony with your body. She said when it was discovered that Rabia and Baktash were in love, they would write poetry to each other. So a Turkish slave and this Afghan princess writing words of love through these poems. Her brother Haris had her imprisoned, and it is said that he had Baktesh thrown into the well. And while she was imprisoned, having heard the news of her beloved, Rabia was heartbroken, but continued to write poetry. In her own blood, having been deprived of all sources of scribing, on the walls of her luxurious prison, but a prison nevertheless. Let's bring the hands back down to the earth. And you hands can be forearms in prayer or hands on the earth. Let's heel toe that left foot towards the middle and then inhale to rise up into high lunge here. And you can bring your hands into your, now cross your wrists. So do the wrists in the other direction this time, if you haven't already. And it might feel very unusual because we automatically tend to use the wrist that is our leading arm or leading hand, more the most dominant hand. And do this liberation prayer wheel up to the sky and back to the heart. Now, I want to take a moment to read some of her poetry to you. I am caught in love's web so deceitful, none of my endeavors turn fruitful. I knew not when I rode the high-blooded steed, the harder I pulled its rein, the less it would heed. Love is an ocean with such a vast space. No wise man can swim it in any place. A true lover should be faithful to the end and face life's reprobated trend. When you see things hideous, fancy them neat, eat poison, but taste sugar sweet. Taste sugar sweet. Beautiful words, and I will read some more poetry by Rabia as we move on. Exhale, hands to the earth, my friends, and step back in mountain. Take a moment here. Shakti waves through the spine or sway your hips, whatever feels called upon in your body. Let's walk the hands all the way back towards your feet so that you come into a forward fold here, Uttanasana. Allow the head to hang low towards the earth. Allow the weightiness of gravity to draw the crown, the Sahasrara, down towards the earth. And you'll feel the counterweight here as the crown draws down into the earth. The tailbone reaches up towards the sky. And here, I'm going to invite you to cross your wrists, cross your ankles. So let's take the right leg in front of the left first. So cross them here, bend slightly into your knees here. Fingertips can be on the earth or on blocks. Forward fold here. Walk the right hand to the center. Come up high on your fingertips and then draw the left arm across the heart to reach up. So that you create an opening across the heart. Fingers in Akash Mudra here. You can gaze up towards the sky or gaze to the horizon or down towards the earth, whatever feels comfortable and sustainable for you here. You can even bring that left hand onto the lower sacrum and spiral the heart open even more. Then bring the left hand to the earth and let's cross legs the other way. So take the right leg right behind the left. So sweep that right leg around. Bring the left hand to the earth and let's rise up towards the sky with the right arm. And you may feel more wobbly on one side compared to the other side. And again, you can bring that right hand to the sacrum and open the shoulder, the heart, even more. I am caught in love's web, so deceitful. None of my endeavors turned fruitful. I knew not when I rode the high-blooded steed, the harder I pulled its rein, the less it would heed. Love is an ocean with such a vast space. No wise man can swim in it in any place. A true lover should be faithful to the end and face life's reprobated trend. And when you seek things hideous, fancy them neat. Eat poison, but taste sugar sweet. Exhale, right hand down to the earth. Take a moment here, uncross the leg. Perhaps you walk your legs here by coming up onto the ball of the foot. And then let's sweep the arms overhead. In Namaskar, cross the wrist and then Nirvana Mudra to the heart. And then again to reach up. And Nirvana Mudra to the heart. And one more time. And this time, let's open out to the left. We're going to step across our mat in Tadasana star pose. Bend into your knees. Let's come into Devyasana, Utkarta Konasana. So toes and knees turned out. Here, let's bring the Nirvana Mudra to the heart. And maybe you sway from left to right, extend through that leg, dorsiflex the foot, and then let's sweep up. So sweeping to one direction and sweeping to the other direction with your Akash Mudra. And perhaps bring in circles. And then let's finish in a Nirvana Mudra here. Take a moment here. Straighten through the legs. Turn towards the right foot, so the toes are now pointing up towards the short edge of the mat. Have your left foot in a 45-degree angle. Bring the hips so that they're parallel over the leg. Unlock the knee. Hinge from the hips so that your crown is reaching forward. Your tailbone is reaching back. Now you're creating this pyramid shape. You can bring that left foot slightly closer. Here, my friends, let's bring the Nirvana Mudra to the heart. Again, you can reach your arms long, bring them in, cross the wrists so that you can experience this on both sides. Inhale, rise all the way up towards the sky. Nirvana Mudra to the heart. Lift your gaze. Open out the arms back into Tadasana here. Back into Devyasana again. Let's cross the wrists so we come into Nirvana. Reach up, and then let's sway from left to right. And this time it's a lateral stretch, so moving with the arms from left to right. Back to center with your mudra, straighten through your legs. Let's turn the right toes in, left toes towards the top of the mat. And let's turn the pelvis. And we're going to hinge here into our pyramid. So remember, bring your legs into the stance as wide as your mat for a more stable foundation. Hinge from the hips. Bring your hands in your nirvana. And then you can reach forward and flow here with your nirvana mudra. Rabia Balkhi is renowned, said to be the first woman poet who wrote poetry in modern Persian. She wrote poetry 3 centuries before Rumi. Rumi, who we know, Jalal al-Din Muhammad Balkhi, who is quoted often by those of us in the West. And yet we have this woman poet, Rabia Balkhi, 3 centuries before him, who is rarely quoted in the West, yet is widely revered, respected, renowned in Afghanistan. And again, just like Malalai, many schools and hospitals are named after her. Outside the Supreme Court of Justice, there's a plaque, a poster of her on the wall. Let's rise up into standing pyramid. And then bend into your knees. Let's come into Tadasana star pose one more time. And heel toe, slightly in, not all the way. So we want to still keep a wide stance. Bring the hands to the hips and then hinge forward from the hips here. And hands to the earth. Let's cross the right hand over to the left shin and the left hand over to the right shin. So this is where you might want to have your legs at a closer stance so that you can reach them with your hands. Crossed at the heart, sort of cross the heart, prasarita. Allow the crown to reach down towards the earth. Bend into your elbows so that you can draw your abdomen closer to the body here. So you're in a deep forward fold in Prasarita Padottanasana. Release the hands, take them overhead. And here you can cross your wrists, or you can bring your hands into a yoga mudra and reach overhead. Bend into the knees. Let's come into Malasana, frog pose. Keep the hands behind you for the moment. And here, my friends, you can place a rolled up blanket underneath your heels. You can sit on a bolster. You can sit on bricks or a low footstool. And then when you're ready, bringing your hands into your Nirvana Mudra here and reaching up and flowing with our liberation wheel. Oh, Siri speaking to me. And then bring your hands to the earth. Let's come down to the earth here. Cross the ankles. Reach your hands long, or option, keep them on the earth. So see how you feel. We're going to lift our shins, lift our feet, ankles crossed. Akash Mudra here in Nukasana, boat pose variation. Uncrossed ankles, cross them the other way. And let's come down. Take a moment here before we melt all the way down to the earth. And as you do that, I'm going to read some more poetry to you while you're on the earth here. We're going to move into twists in a moment. In fact, let me set you up first, and then I'll read to you. So we're going to come into a figure of 4. Cross the right ankle onto the left. Flex the right foot. And here, my friends, you can keep that left foot on the earth. You can lift it up and place it on a bolster. Wrap your hands around the back of the left thigh or the shin and draw that leg, that left knee in towards you. You may also extend that left leg long. So perhaps you start with it knee folded and then extend the leg long. And keep drawing that leg in. So here's a poem. Oh, the absent and present one, where are you? If you are not with me, then where are you? My eyes are illuminated by you. My heart is acquainted by you. Come and invite my eyes and soul. Otherwise, take a sword and end my life. Rabia. Now, it is often said that Bhaktash for Rabia represented the divine, that in the poetry Rabia wrote, it was the poetry to the divine love, the divine source, the divine being. And that very much the poetry was of a deep spiritual love that was layered into this intimate, passionate love. Bhaktash, who wrote back to her, I don't have the sight to see you. I don't have the patience and rest without you. What am I going to do with you now? How can I carry this pain without you? Your hair has pierced my veil. With your face I have fallen in love. From your hair I have become under and over, because from your hair my life has been destroyed. And this poetry of love between them is often said to be this poetry of Shiva and Shakti, of Layla and Majnun, these great beloveds of history who talk about this deep, deep spiritual love. My friends, here, let's release that left foot to the earth, uncross the right ankle and bring the left ankle onto the right knee. Hug in that right knee again. Wrap your fingers around your thigh or shin, drawing that in, and then part where you can always extend that right leg long. Keep drawing the legs in towards you. The knee that is folded is moving away. The leg that is lifted is coming towards you. So there's this push and pull, this oppositional action here in which there is balance and harmony. You may wonder why in this class, when we're raising funds for Women for Women International and United Nations Refugee Agency, why I've chosen to speak about these two women, Malalai and Rabia, because they are representative of all that is wonderful, all that is brave, all that is courageous, all that is independent, vital spirit energy of the heroic hearts of the women of Afghanistan, these women who are revered, respected, adored, who influence and inspire young women throughout history to this day. That to celebrate the culture, to celebrate the poetry, celebrate the love. Three more breaths here in this Suchirandasana variation. Bring the right foot to the earth. Release the left ankle and take a moment here. We're going to come into our supine twist. And for our supine twist, my friends, let's cross the right knee over the left knee. You could double wrap the right foot, so double bind the legs here. And reach your hands overhead and cross at the wrists. So that you come into the variation of your animal deer. And gently release the left knees over to the left. You may wish to support the knees by placing some cushions or bolster or folded blanket underneath. Now, if having your arms overhead doesn't feel sustainable here, you can release your arms and open them out. So your hands are above the crown with the wrists crossed, or your arms are open. And perhaps you bend it to the elbows, often known as cactus arms or sunbeam arms. This is what was written about Rabia in a magazine in 1974 in Afghanistan. The story of Rabia is the story of a cry in the strangled throat of the women in our society in her time and other times that have passed. So the story of Rabia is ever true to this day and ever important. The story of Rabia is the story of a cry in the strangled throat of women in our society in her time and other times have passed. Remember, Rabia was writing in the 10th century. She wrote about how her love for Baktash was the way that she could reach the divine, the way that she could speak to the truth, speak truth to the patriarchal power. How sacred love was ever important to her, beyond the constrictions of the society, beyond the imposition of oppressive power. Her bravery transcends those limits. And Malaya's defiance on the battlefield to rouse the warriors into victory continues to inspire young women today. Inhaling, let's come back to center. You may wish to release your arms if they are overhead before you return to center to give you a little bit more stability. Let's recross the legs in the opposite direction. And then when you're ready, cross the wrists in the opposite direction and release the knees down towards the right. And you may wish to support the knees by placing a bolster or bricks or cushions underneath the knees. And if you find this intensity of the hands overhead a little too strong a sensation, release the hands. And in 2018, photographer Radha Akbar wrote of Rabia. Rabia is a symbol of defiance against patriarchy and a continued harsh reminder of the price we've, Afghan women, been forced to pay for freedom of speech and love. Rabia is a symbol of defiance against patriarchy and a continued harsh reminder of the price we've been forced to pay for freedom of speech and love. Inhale, come back to center, release your hands if you've got them crossed in order to do this. And then spread out your arms and legs. Maybe you take a little hug in first and rock and roll gently on the lower spine from side to side before coming into Shavasana. Covering yourself if you wish, with a blanket, covering your eyes with an eye pillow. And these were the words that Rabia wrote on the wall of her prison. I wish my body was aware of my heart. I wish my heart was aware of my body. I wish I could escape from you in peace. Where can I go regretfully? I wish my body was aware of my heart. I wish my heart was aware of my body. I wish I could escape from you in peace. Where can I go regretfully? Om Bhagavate Vidmahi Maheshwari Dhimahi Tanno Devi Prachodayat. Om Bhagavate Vidmahi Maheshwari Dhimahi Tanno Devi Prachodayat. The moon-faced beauty struck blood with her fingertip. With her blood she covered the walls. Many poems stemmed from her agonized heart when no walls remained in the hammam. So too few drops of blood remained as she covered the walls with poetry. She collapsed like a fragment of the wall amid blood, love, fire, and tears. Her sweet soul swiftly left her body with 100 desires. Her sweet soul swiftly left her body with 100 desires. This woman who continues to inspire generations of Afghan women. Never letting go of her principles, her poetry, her beloved, her connection with the divine, her integrity of character, her courage of heart. Inhale. Begin to stretch out through your arms and legs. And as you exhale, draw everything in, gentle hug, gentle roll on the lower spine. And then roll over onto the left side. The side of the heart. And then with helping hands, rise up. Coming into your Sukhasana. Bring your hands into Akash Mudra, thumb to middle finger, palms face up on your knees or thighs. We'll close our practice by chanting Lokaha, Samastaha, Sukhino, Bhavantu. May all beings be free and happy. May my thoughts, words, and actions contribute to that freedom and happiness. Lokaha, Samastaha, Sukhino bhavantu lokaha samastaha sukhino bhavantu lokaha samastaha sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Dhanyavad, Dhanyavad. I'm going to post the link to donate to these two organizations working on the ground to support displaced families and to support women, Afghan women, to escape and flee from safely to a safe haven away from the Taliban. These are agencies that are very experienced in working in conflict zones to protect people and support refugees and those seeking asylum. Dhanyavad, Dhanyavad, Dhanyavad.